The whole world seems to stop. Billions of people are glued to screens, flags are everywhere, and every conversation somehow finds its way back to the same topic. And you're just not feeling it, not even a little. You don't hate it, you're not against it, you just genuinely don't care. And if that's you, there's actually a very specific reason for it, and it's more interesting than you think. Every 4 years, the World Cup arrives like a wave, and most people get completely swept up in it. Offices turn into debate clubs, family group chats explode. People who haven't watched a single football match all year suddenly have very strong opinions about refereeing decisions. And then there's you. You're aware it's happening. You might even sit through a match with friends or family just to be present. But inside, something isn't connecting. You're not tracking the scores. You're not losing sleep over results. When your country gets knocked out, you notice people around you genuinely grieving, and you feel fine. Maybe a little guilty for feeling fine, but fine. It's not that you dislike football. It's not even that you dislike sport. You might love other things deeply: books, music, your work, a hobby that nobody else seems to understand the way you do. But this particular event, this global moment that seems designed to pull everyone together, just doesn't pull you. And the strange part is that explaining this to people is almost impossible. How can you not care about the World Cup, they ask, as though your indifference is a character flaw rather than just a difference. The first thing to understand is that caring about large collective events like the World Cup isn't automatic, it's learned. Psychologists call this social identity theory, the idea that we attach ourselves to groups, teams, and shared experiences as a way of feeling like we belong to something bigger than ourselves. For many people, supporting a national football team activates that sense of tribal belonging in a very powerful way. The wins feel personal, the losses feel personal, because on some level, the team is them. But not everyone experiences group identity the same way. If you grew up in a household where football wasn't central, or if you never had a moment where a team's victory felt like your victory, that emotional wiring simply didn't develop in the same direction. It's not a deficiency, it's just a different map. There's also something called selective absorption, the idea that our attention and emotional energy are finite, and we each naturally invest them in the things that genuinely resonate with us. People who don't care about the World Cup often care very deeply about something else. Their emotional bandwidth is already fully occupied by the things that actually move them. The World Cup just isn't one of those things, and forcing enthusiasm for it would feel hollow. Psychologists who study autonomy, our need to make genuine choices about what we engage with, find that people with a strong sense of internal autonomy often resist being swept into collective excitement that doesn't feel authentic to them. This isn't stubbornness, it's actually a sign of a well-developed sense of self. You know what genuinely interests you, and you don't perform interest you don't have. And finally, there's the noise factor. The World Cup is loud, socially, emotionally, and literally. If you tend toward introversion or sensory sensitivity, the constant saturation of a major global event can feel more exhausting than exciting. When something is inescapable, it can trigger a quiet internal resistance in certain personalities, not because of the thing itself, but because of the pressure to participate in it. Here's what your indifference to the World Cup might actually reveal about you. It probably means you have a strong inner compass. You're not easily moved by what everyone else is doing. While the world shifts attention collectively in one direction, you stay oriented toward what genuinely matters to you. That's a form of psychological stability that a lot of people don't have. Many people get swept into enthusiasm they don't fully feel because the social pressure to participate is enormous. You don't. That takes a quiet kind of confidence. It might also mean you invest emotionally in depth rather than breadth. You're not someone who spreads enthusiasm thinly across whatever's culturally popular. When you care about something, you really care. Your passions are specific, personal, and chosen, not inherited from the crowd. That's actually a rare quality. The things you love genuinely. And it might mean you're someone who processes the world internally rather than through collective experience. You don't necessarily need a shared cultural moment to feel connected to other people. You find connection in quieter, more personal ways, in conversations, in ideas, in things that don't require a billion other people to be happening at the same time. None of this makes you detached or cold. It just means your version of meaning making looks different from the one on the billboard. If you've ever felt quietly strange for not caring about the World Cup or any major event that the whole world seems to stop for, you can let that feeling go. You're not broken. You're not missing something. You're simply someone whose emotional investment goes somewhere else, somewhere specific, personal, and real to you. And that's not a flaw. That's actually one of the more honest ways to move through the world, caring about what genuinely moves you and not performing care for the things that don't. The world needs people who follow the crowd, but it also needs people who don't, and you've always been one of the ones who doesn't. That's not something to apologize for. That's just who you are.